Hey guys, Jen here. Welcome to Dream Life or Bust. So, it's been a few days since I've done one of these videos. I usually do them every day, but sometimes I don't. And in the last few days, I've been in some serious resistance, but it's cool because I feel like a lot of clarity has come through from that resistance period. So I'm excited about it and looking forward to just seeing what happens from here. Okay, so the thing I wanted to say today, and this is actually something that's been on my mind for a few days now, and I keep getting all these like reminders about it and like signs that this is something I need to freaking talk about. So literally right before I hit go live on this live stream, I saw an email come through from one of the lists that I follow, and she was talking about almost the exact same topic. So I'm like, okay, this is clearly something that needs to be said right now. So the thing I want to say that I think is really, really important, and this is true if you're a writer, if you're an author, if you're an artist, a creator, entrepreneur, whatever it is that you do with your creative stuff, really, really key thing. And this was something that it took me a very, very long time to learn. So I hope by me sharing it, it helps you to not take as long to learn it as it took me. So the thing that you need to know that's super important when it comes to actually building a readership, building a following, getting people to actually pay attention to what you're doing is that you don't try to attract everybody. You don't try to please everybody. You don't try to call in every single person. You actually focus on the people who you're meant to actually be serving, who is actually meant to be in your audience, and that's it. You ignore everybody else. So you've probably, heard the saying, if you try to please everybody, you please nobody. And it's so true because there is no possible way to please every single person every single time. There's just no way because everybody has their own opinions and their own, excuses and their own experiences that they're going to bring to the table and ideas. And so not everything you do is going to resonate with everybody, and not everything you say or everything you put out there is going to resonate with everybody. So a huge mistake that I see writers making, and like I said, this was something that I personally did for a very long time, is that they try to call in everybody. So when I talk to a lot of writers about marketing, one of the things they say is, well, no one's really following my stuff, or no one really reads my books, or I'm not getting any reviews, or, whatever. And I will ask them, well, who are you targeting? And most of the time they'll say, well, anybody who wants to read my books. I'm targeting anybody who wants to read what I write. And huge red flag there when you say that or when you see that being said, because that's how you know that the person isn't actually calling in the right audience. They're just allowing anybody to be part of their audience. And I used to do that. So for a very long time, I thought that I had to just help every writer in the world. I thought that if I was going to help writers, it had to be every writer, all writers, from all walks of life. And what I've learned over the last few years is that it's better to not focus on everybody. It's actually better to focus on who do you actually want to have reading your books? Who do you actually want to have in your audience, watching your live streams, watching your videos, in your Facebook group, reading your emails that you send out? Like, who do you really want to have doing that? Because a lot of the times we discover that if you actually know who it is you want to have following you, you can actually call them in better by, first of all, knowing who they are, but then secondly, tailoring what you talk about and how you talk about it and how you show up to that audience. So I was actually on a call earlier today with a client, and we were talking about this very same thing, and the idea that like she felt like she had to attract everybody. She had to call in everybody to be her audience. She, wasn't sure how to just get people who would actually be interested in what she's doing. And this was something that I learned from one of my mentors. And, I've had a lot of mentors over the years, but I definitely say I have one who I would call my soulmate mentor. And this is what I learned from her, is the idea that you don't have to call everybody in. You don't have to have everybody reading your books. So when someone doesn't like something you're doing, they don't like how you say something, they don't like your book, they don't like the story you just told, they don't like whatever, that is a clear sign that they are not part of your ideal audience, that they're not a person who's going to resonate with your work. And so rather than trying to change their opinion or trying to get them to see your side of it, you just let them go. You just let them go because they're not your target audience. And this was something that I used to struggle with, because if I ever got a negative book review, I would, want to get really defensive, and I would want to say, well, you just didn't understand the book, and you just, whatever. But the thing is, the reason that person left a negative review or it didn't resonate with them is because it wasn't meant for them. They're not the person I wrote that book for. So if they picked it up somehow and read it, that's why they didn't like it, because it wasn't a fit for them. It wasn't, I wasn't resonating with them, the way I speak, my voice, the way I write things, it just wasn't hitting them. So to them, they didn't like the book. But that didn't mean that the book is bad. So that's the other thing, is I think if you get a negative review, you automatically think, oh my God, like I must be doing something wrong, or the book is, not good, or there's something wrong with it. Not at all the case. Again, it might just be that you haven't attracted the right readers. So it's really important to know who you want to have reading your stuff and watching your videos and just being part of your community, because when you know that, you can call them in. And then, like earlier today when I got on the phone with my client, like we had never actually talked before. We were just exchanging emails, and we had been like on Facebook and stuff together, but we had never actually had a conversation until today. And when we talked today, I felt so like, oh my God, this woman is my soulmate client, because she totally gets it. She feels exactly the same way that I did. She struggles with the same things I used to struggle with. She has the same mindset that I do, or, that I used to have before I got the mindset that I am now. It just felt like such a good fit. And that's how I know that I'm actually doing the right things now with my marketing. I'm actually calling in the right people by just being me. And that's what it's going to come down to. So years ago, when I was trying to just help every writer in the world, when I thought I had to help every writer, I would hold back on certain things, or I wouldn't use certain types of language. Like I wouldn't drop F-bombs, or I wouldn't swear at all. I would try to just be really professional, because that's what, you're told you're supposed to do. You have to be really professional, and you have to, make everybody like you. And that is all bullshit. It is not true. And if you do that, it's the thing that's going to keep you from finding your true readership, and the people who are going to actually love your books and buy all of them, not just one of them, but all of them, and leave you reviews and love your stuff and get so excited when you have something new coming out. Like, that's only going to happen if you show up as yourself. And when you don't do that, you're going to call in the wrong people. So that's what was happening to me, even a few years ago. So I was, in my coaching business, even like I was sort of being myself, but not being myself, because it was, sort of scary. Like, oh my God, can I really go out there and just swear when I want to and talk about the things I want to talk about and be myself? Or do I have to be this like PC, in a box, like professional version of myself? And so for a long time, that's what I was doing, because I thought everybody had to like me, and I had to make everybody a fan of mine, and I had to have, every single writer in my audience. But now I see that that is actually the thing that kept me from being successful, that kept me from really getting that soulmate tribe, that, readership that I wanted to have, where that, where we would have this deeper connection. I want that with my readers and with my audience. And I wasn't having that when I was trying to please everybody, when I was trying to not be who I really am, because I thought, well, maybe people won't accept me, or they won't like me, or, whatever. And so for me, now I just show up as me. So it's like, there would have been a time when I probably would have done a live stream and I would have put on long sleeves. So I would have covered up my tattoos, because God forbid I have tattoos. Oh my God, people might not like me. Well, guess what? I don't do that anymore, because I realize the people who are going to resonate with me, who are going to read my books, who are going to like the stuff that I do, they're going to want to see who I really am. And who I really am is a creative, multi-passionate author slash, speaker slash leader slash creator who loves tattoos, who loves to swear, who loves to, just do whatever I feel like doing, not follow the rules, and just be a rebel. Like, that's who I am, and that's who I've always been. And now I'm not afraid to show that. And by doing that, I've actually attracted to my audience all these people who are actually my soulmate readers, my soulmate tribe. So they buy all my books, and they read them all, and they resonate with my messages that I post every day. And they, read my blog posts and feel like, oh my God, I feel like you're in my head. Like, I feel like you wrote that for me. And that right there is how you know that you're actually being yourself and you're calling in the right people. Hi, Lisa. How are you? I'm really excited to get to meet you in a couple of weeks. So yeah, the whole thing is that you just have to be yourself, and that's how you bring in the right readers. That's how you bring in the right people that you want to have in your audience. Now, something that I'm sort of known for is to just kind of do things a little bit different than most people. So I get lectured a lot by people who think I should do something a different way. You're not following the rules, or that's not how you blog, or that's not how you do whatever. I don't really care about that stuff anymore. I used to, and I used to give myself a hard time about not following the rules and not wanting to, follow the rules, because for a long time in my life, and especially when I was much younger, I was a conformist, because I was bullied a lot and I was treated badly by people, and I had a very low self-esteem. And so because of that, I just felt like, well, if I conform and if I just try to be whoever, the people want, whoever they, who I think they would like, if I just do that, then that will be the right thing to do. But it ended up getting me nowhere. And so when I finally just said, screw it, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to just be who I am and show up as me. And whoever doesn't like it can frickin' leave. That's when things started really to work for me. That's when I started getting that soulmate audience and that soulmate tribe. And now when I have workshops and things that I do, they're actually full of people who are like me. They might not be as far along as I am, but they have the same mindset, the same mentality. They've been through similar things. They feel a certain way about themselves as a writer, and it just flows really well and it works. And then it makes what I do really fun. So whereas, sometimes people are like, I don't like marketing because I feel like, no one listens or no one pays attention, or, people just give me a hard time. Well, that's probably because you're not calling in the right people. So this was something that I had to learn kind of the hard way, because I've definitely had a lot of experiences with people who weren't really my soulmate people, but I somehow just attracted them to my audience or my tribe. And then, of course, I had to listen to them bitch at me about how I swear too much or how I do this or that. And so finally, I just decided I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to be me. Every single time I put something out there, I'm just going to be me every time. So whether it's the topic I'm talking about, whether it's how I show up, whether it's what I'm creating. So like, for example, I have a mastermind group called the Bestselling Author Mastermind. And when I started that group, one of the really important key things for me was that I had the right people in there, that I have the soulmate tribe, the people who resonate with me, resonate with my message, and actually want to learn from me. So one of the things that I did, and this is what I was talking to my client about earlier, because she actually mentioned this to me, was that I dropped the F-bomb on the sales page right at the top. So it basically says, time to hit your writing goals, no more fucking around. And it's big, letters right up front. It says that. Now that right there is a way for people to decide whether or not they're going to keep reading. So if you don't like the F-bomb, if you don't like, swear words or anything like that, you're going to read that and you're going to stop and you're going to go to another place. You're not going to keep reading. You're definitely not going to join my group. However, if you are somebody who resonates with that kind of language, who doesn't mind it, who thinks it's fine, like who cares if you want to use that language sometimes, then you'll keep reading. And if you do, then you'll get to the next section, which says, if you're still reading, that means two things. Number one, you are okay with swear words. Number two, you are ready for something extreme in your writing life. And that's exactly what this group is. So I kind of just, bring myself to that sales page and to the group itself so that people can know what it's really all about. No, that's not to say that I swear every time. I don't. But the point was, I was using that as a way to show people, like, this is who I am. And if you don't like it, there's the door. Like, you don't have to join. You don't have to be part of my world anymore. And so now when I see people unsubscribe from my email list or, not like my books or give me a bad review or something, I don't mind anymore. I actually send blessings out into the world. So when that happens, I'll say, thank you for leaving my community. Thank you for leaving my community, because that to me is a sign that I'm doing something right, that I'm not appealing to everybody, that I'm actually appealing to my soulmate tribe, to the people who actually care about what I do and who resonate with the way I do things and how I talk and the stuff I talk about, and maybe who see themselves in me, or they want to, get to the place where I am at. So that to me is way more important now than trying to please everybody or trying to appeal to everybody. And what's cool is that as I've done this, I've gained, more people in my workshops more than ever before. I've been getting people in my workshops, selling more books than ever before. Like, it's just happening as an extension of me just showing up as me. So if you are in this situation where you feel like you're afraid to be who you really are because people might judge you or give you a hard time about it, and yeah, like, that stuff might happen. I'm not going to lie. Like, there are haters in the world, obviously. You already know this. And especially online, there are a lot more haters because they can hide out behind their computers and say bad things about you and not have to actually do it to your face. So it's much easier for them to not feel bad about it. But just putting all that aside, that's just a so what, that's just part of life, part of being online, part of being visible. And if you can just be okay with that and realize that none of that shit matters as long as you just stay focused on being who you are, doing your thing, sharing what you want to share, then your right people will come to you and you will start to see that. And today that was a complete, when I talked to this client earlier, I just felt like, yes, this is happening. Like, I'm calling in the right people now, the people who I want to be hanging out with. Like, when I talked to her on the phone, it didn't even feel like work. Like, I couldn't even believe how fast the call went by because it was just so natural. It was this natural conversation where I almost felt like I was talking to a younger version of myself, like where I used to be when I struggled and when I didn't write every day and I didn't have stuff published and I didn't have the habits that I have now. So it was such a eye-opening experience for me to just realize that, like, the stuff I'm doing is working. And just a really good reminder of why you have to show up and be yourself, because you're not going to resonate with everybody. Like, there are probably people who turned this video on, heard me talking for a few seconds and jumped off because they're like, screw that girl. Like, I don't want to hear what she has to say, or I don't care what she's saying. And none of that, that stuff used to bother me. Like, I used to get really upset about it and, oh my God, like, I need to make people like me. I don't care about that anymore. I don't want people to like me. I just want the right people to like me. So, and I know that that will happen. Like, the right people will show up, will like your stuff, will want to be part of your world because you're being who you are. And that's it. So that's actually, I would say, almost like, like I don't know what it's called, a beacon maybe. But the idea is, like, if you are, like, out there as a light post or as a, what do they call those things? I can't even think what they're called now. Lighthouse or something. So like you're out there just being who you are. By being who you are, by sharing all that stuff, you will resonate with the right people. So they will actually just be attracted to you because you're just going out there and being you. And that is the most important thing. So if you are trying to grow a readership or an audience for yourself, or just wanting to get more people paying attention to the stuff that you're doing, it's really, really important that you first ask yourself, am I showing up as me? So when you write a blog post, when you write a book, when you put out some marketing or make a video or whatever you're doing, are you being you? Or are you being this PC version of you because you think people won't like you if you just be who you are, if you talk the way you normally talk, if you talk about topics that maybe you think some people might not like. Like there are some people who probably don't like me talking about this whole dream life or bust thing. They probably think it's stupid. They're like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like I'm not going to have my dream life happen. So why would I even care about that? And that's all great. To me, like those are all signs that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm actually moving in the right direction because I'm resonating with the right people. So anyone who is still watching these videos, anyone who actually watches all the way through to the end, who comments, who, reaches out to me to let me know that they've enjoyed my stuff or that it's helped them, those are the people that I'm writing for. Those are the people I'm creating for and who I'm doing these videos for. And that's it. At this point, I don't care about anybody else. It's like I'm not even, those people who don't resonate with me, again, I'm wearing blinders to that. It's totally fine. And I'm cool with it now. I just say, hey, I'm cool with it. Like, please go find somebody you resonate with. Because that's the whole thing. You don't want people following you who don't actually like what you're doing or who don't resonate with you. Because all that's going to happen is they're going to annoy you and they're going to leave rude comments and they're going to just bug you. And it's not fun. It makes you not enjoy what you're doing. And I think that's the other thing that makes people afraid of marketing is that they think, oh my God, like I have to like attract everybody. And if I don't do the right thing, someone might not like it. And I don't even care anymore. Now I just say, there's the door. Right there, there's a door. You can go. You don't have to stay here. You don't have to watch this video. You don't have to read my emails. Like, you can leave. There are people who don't like that I write emails 5 days a week. I write emails 5 days a week. I send them to my community. I write blog posts 5 days a week. I send them out, put them on my blog. There are people who don't like that. They think I do it too much. They think I need to stop doing so many things. Those are not my people. And so, yeah, they might email me and say, I think you should stop emailing so much. Or I've had people say that, like, oh, I love your stuff. It's really great, but you just send too many emails. I can't keep up. Okay, then you're not an ideal community member. Like, an ideal community member wants to hear from me, wants me to send them emails and give them new information and help them out because they resonate with me. So that's true of the people that I follow that I love to get stuff from. Like my mentor, Kat Laterzo, I have her marked as the first thing I see on Facebook when I go on Facebook every day. So I see all her videos and I might not watch every single one, but I know what she has going on and I read her emails and I want her to put more stuff out there because I want more opportunities to interact with her and to talk with her and to hear what she has to say. So I'm one of her, soulmate tribe members and it's a perfect fit. But she wouldn't be a perfect fit for other people. And it's the same thing with me. So I just think it's so important to just, no matter what you're doing, whether it's growing an audience, whether it's trying to sell books, or whatever it is that you do as a creative thing, it's all about being who you are. It's all about just owning it and just not being afraid to go out there and show who you are. It's fine. Like, not everybody's going to like you, but that's okay because the right people will. And those people are going to be your soulmate tribe. They're going to buy all your books. They're going to read everything you write. They're going to want to follow you forever. And that is the important thing. That's how you actually build that community of people who are going to actually support you in creating your dream life and you getting to help them do the same. Lisa, you're so right. And it drives me nuts when people feel the need to tell me why they don't like me. Just leave. Right? I know there's a thing. I think people just feel they have to have their voice validated. Like they have to just say, I don't like you and I need to point this out and tell you. It's fine. Like you just have to understand that's going to happen and just sort of let it roll off because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And those people are not going to buy your books anyway. They're not going to read all your stuff. They're not going to join your workshops or whatever you do. So you're better off not even bothering with them. You're better off just focusing on the people who you know are your soulmate people. And that's it. And talking to them like nobody else in the world. And that's what I do now. I just show up. I know that I'm meant to serve multi-passionate writers, creators who want to have their dream life, who want to not just have this mediocre existence where they just sort of glide along, but they actually enjoy what they're doing. They love it. They feel happy all the time. They feel free.